Do you aim like this? But want to aim like this? In today's video, I'm going to show you 4 habits that instantly make your aim feel more reliable. The most common problem with aiming in Valorant is not knowing how to pre-aim properly. Now, what do I mean by pre-aiming? Most people think they know what pre-aiming is. They know what to do, but they don't do it. When pre-aiming, the main thing you have to focus on is only exposing yourself to one angle at a time. Can you tell which pre-aim is better? 1 or 2? If you said 2, then you'd be right. It was good because I peeked every single angle with intent and was ready for a gunfight. In the first clip, you have to rely on instincts and pure reaction time, which is extremely unreliable in the long run. Just think about it. You will most likely never become consistent if you only rely on flicks. Now, how do you pre-aim properly? Pre-aiming every angle is very important when you don't know where the enemy is, but when you do know where they are, it's okay to skip angles and pre-fire. Soft clearing is one of the most common causes of death in Valorant and is very easy to fix with enough time and patience. Remember the first clip? Tell me what you think they did wrong. Where is the crosshair and where is the enemy? It's pretty far away. He immediately overflicks, which causes a whiff. This is what happens when you always rely on your reflexes. Tip number 2 is peeking with intention. If you're autopiloting and clearing every angle poorly, then you're going to get one-tapped like 100% of the time. By doing this, you give yourself almost zero chance to react. Every movement should have a reason, and every peek should clear exactly one position. If you don't know what you're clearing, then you're already at a disadvantage in your gunfight. Pretend I'm fighting someone top mid on ascent. If I know where he is and swing with intention, then I have an infinitely higher chance of killing him. Peeking with intention allows you to focus on the gunfight that's more at hand. Tip number 3 is syncing your aim with movement. This is probably one of the most underappreciated tips. I feel like most players move first and then their mouse catches up, or like vice versa. These 2 things should happen together, where your movement should guide your crosshair and your crosshair should guide your movement. Imagine your crosshair is attached to your character with a string or a rubber band. Whenever you strafe left, your crosshair should naturally track the angle you're exposing to. If you watch like pro VODs or VCT, you'll notice that pro players don't usually rely on flicking. That's because their crosshair usually arrives at the enemy at exactly the same time they become visible. If you want to practice this, you can just spam it in death matches. Don't worry about kills, just wait until it becomes automatic. Rapid improvement only comes from deliberate and targeted practice. So when you hop into a death match, either like only focus on your movement, only focus on your aim, and then you reach a point where you can slowly start integrating them better, right? As I mentioned earlier, a really common mistake is swinging around a corner with your crosshair still stuck on the wall and then having to make a huge fat flick once you finally see the enemy, right? And by that point, you're already behind. Instead, your crosshair should be moving across the angle at the same speed that your character is revealing it. If your movement is slow, then your crosshair should also move slowly. If you're wide swinging, your crosshair should travel faster. Everything must stay synchronized. Going back again, these pro players can make these fights easy because they set it up in the perfect way. Your brain should be paying attention to one thing, which is your crosshair arriving at each angle at the same time as your character? If the answer is yes, you're building one of the most important habits in this game. And after enough repetition, your movement and your aim will stop feeling like 2 separate skills that are annoyingly clashing with each other and become like one smooth motion. The 4th and final step is holding angles properly. I feel like everyone has seen this clip at least once. Did you notice what he did there? Probably not, but that's a good thing. Holding angles sounds simple, right? You stand still, you wait, and then you shoot. And why is it so hard for many to do? In fact, most players lose these types of fights before the enemy even appears. The first mistake I see people doing is holding too close to a corner. When your crosshair is glued to the wall and the enemy wide swings, you have to flick to get onto them. Well, I said earlier that flicking is something that never should be relied on in your games, as it is always inconsistent. You first need to understand that you don't have the reaction time of a fly and you're not a prodigy like enough space for the most likely peak. Think about how they're going to swing. If they're likely to wide swing, then hold your crosshair further from the wall. If they're clearing slowly, then, well, you can tighten that gap, right? Your crosshair placement must be fluid and change depending on how you expect the enemy to peek. Your crosshair placement should change depending on how you expect them to peek. Like, just don't be weird and acknowledge that if you keep dying, then you're obviously doing something wrong, so you have to do something to change it, right? The second mistake I see is where you're standing. Like, if you're hugging a corner, the enemy will often see you at like the same time you see them, right? But if you take a few steps back, you create angle advantage. I'll probably explain this in a later vid, but for now I'll just put a diagram up just to show you guys what it is. And for the final little add-on, always mix up where you position yourself. Like, if you're playing Jet on Ascent B main, don't always just stand in the same angle, you know? Like, maybe play closer to the wall, further from the wall, play in more of like an off angle. I don't know, just make it unpredictable. If you only remember one thing from this video, I want it to be that good aim isn't just about moving your mouse. It's about putting yourself in positions where aiming becomes easy. Fix your crosshair placement, peek with intention, sync your movement with your aim, hold angles correctly. Master these habits and I can guarantee that your aim will improve far faster than endlessly grinding aim trainers. If this video helps you, then like, leave a like or something, because this video took like way too long to make, but I like doing it. It's been my dream to make YouTube videos since I was a kid, and I would be ecstatic and joyous if you guys were to show the same support on my first video. I will hopefully be making more tips in the foreseeable future, more videos, so stay tuned please. Thank you.